What are you doing to follow up after the sale is made? I'm Sylvan Bell. It's July 2nd, 2017, 1:44 in the afternoon here in Sacramento. Perfect day to talk about sales. Perfect day to talk about following up after you've made the sale. And I gotta let you know, I've ridden with salespeople now for 7 years, and very rarely do I see a salesperson who is very good at after the sale follow-up. Or like they make the deal happen, they close the sale, they got a buyer, they get their commission, and then they just drop the person like a bunch of lead bricks, okay? So here's the thing, you gotta have a strong follow-up game plan. So if you have a product, a service, a widget or gizmo that's delivered, why not do a site visit if it's a way to have happen? I get it, sometimes people sell something and they're in one part of the United States and they're selling it for another part of the world. If it's a big enough ticket, hey, fly out there, go see the person. But if they're in your town, if they're in your jurisdiction, if they're in your parish, your county, your state, your city, what is stopping you from going to do an on-site visit and not just saying, hey, I was just here to collect the commission. I would like to make sure that everything's going good. Now, I do a lot of work in the in-home sales, and this is a pretty common thing for the top salespeople to go back and talk to the buyer and make sure that everything's happy. Now, the other thing you got to know is my grandfather was a dentist for 40 years, and at the end of the day, he would go home and he would sit down and he would call every client that he saw and say, hey, look, I just want to make sure your bridge fit right. Hey, I just want to make sure that your filling feels good. Hey, I just want to make sure that your veneers, or whatever he did for them. But he had a strong follow-up game plan, and he didn't charge the least amount in town. He charged more than anybody. But part of it was because he had a good follow-up plan, and he was checking in with people, and if there was a problem, boom, he was fixing it. And a site visit for you would do this very thing. So instead of waiting for the problem to happen, instead of waiting for the challenge to happen, you make a site visit. And you know, you never know who you're gonna run into. You never know what introduction you're gonna get. You're never gonna find out what type of insight. I got all sorts of insight when I'd go to a job, when I'd sold something to somebody, and they would tell me something, and I'd just take notes after I'd leave. Like they'd use a phrase, they would explain something, they would give me an I wish. These are all things about pain, about problems. And I'd go and I'd take notes and I would adopt my sales process based upon what I would learn after the delivery of their product or their service, okay? So make a site visit, go see the people, get out of your office. And the other thing you're not realizing is, like, you know, there's a certain amount of endorphins that happen after you make a sale. There's a rush that you get. There's dopamine that gets kicked up, right? And you can borrow some of that if you're having a bad sales day. Go visit a job or a client that you've sold. It really does help out. Now, if you could do a small favor for me, in the box down below, leave a comment, question, or story. That would be fantastic. To the right, to the left, there's a subscribe button. You know what you got to do. You got to subscribe. And then afterwards, you can send it out to all your friends via StumbleUpon, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Why not even LinkedIn? Sylvan Bell. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Aloha.